Hello, how is everybody doing? We're back with the top picks for next trading week. Last week was a little slow, depending on how you traded or what you traded, but it was a little slower week for us here. Kind of a consolidation week, as you can see. The Dow has been trending up pretty well, so we've been in a pretty good spot, but it was just a little slower last week. I think it's because Monday the market was closed, so a little bit of not everybody wanted to trade. So let's get right into it. We're going to be looking at the top picks for the week. It's about 5 of them, and then some swing trades that we're waiting for confirmation. And stay tuned for the end. Got some gifts we're going to be giving away. So stay tuned for that. So let's start with the first one here. It's going to be VNDA. This is one we looked at last week. It was around here last week, so we've seen that it's been consolidating mostly the whole week. Like I said, last week was a lot of consolidation, but we did see finally a pop here, yes, or Friday. So this is a good one to keep your eye on. It's got a good profit margin here of around 11% back to the resistance here at about $23, and then all the way possibly up to 50% or so at the other resistance at $31. So it's a good one to keep in mind. Got to watch out for this SMA line. It could act as a resistance coming up here once it passes the first resistance level. And the next one here is going to be CFFN. This is one I took a position on last week. This one was trending up more than most stocks because, I don't know, it just didn't really consolidate that much. So as you can see from Monday here, if we go back to Monday or Tuesday, that it was when the week started. It started out right here, and it did about 2.5% for the week. So, I mean, it's not the most percentage, but it's steady gains. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for consistent gains. It's not a get-rich-quick kind of thing. It's not going to happen. It's going to take time, and compounding interest is going to work better for you over the long run. So we still have about possibly another 1.5–2% here. So it's been trending up. As long as it doesn't pull below this EMA line, we'll keep holding it. So just it's pulled back and it's still bouncing right on that line. It's looking good. The next one we're gonna look at is INVA. This one is it's a little more riskier. I haven't taken a position on this one yet personally, but it is definitely one that I'm liking a lot more since last week. As you can see, it's kind of hit down here at this support line at about $14 like it did a couple months ago. So we could see it push back up to this kind of support here. It's sort of a support, $18. Or it could hit this. It could come up to about here when this SMA line comes down and kind of get a resistance there. You never know, or it could just blow right through it. But it has been trending up, and now it's pulled back below the green line. So you have to watch out for this. Could be a false breakout, or bull rally, if you want to call it that. And it would just continue trending on lower. So you could get stuck with it if you're not careful. But there's a profit margin here about 13% or so, so it's a good one to keep a lookout on. I might take a smaller position on this just to be safe. The next one is ONDK. This is a nice one. It's got a really nice pattern that I like so far. I did take a position on this, I think Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday, or maybe Tuesday, I don't know. But so far it's been good. It's starting to trend above the blue EMA line, so it's looking good. We'll keep holding it until we see signs of resistance. There's a good profit margin at about, could get up to 670 to 720 in the dollar amount. So it's the first resistance kind of here, and then the second resistance would be around there. So this is more riskier if you're going to wait until this gets up to there. Oh, hold on a second. Got to change tools. So if we waited for this to get up to here, this would be a safer time to exit the trade at about 8%. So if you got in now, you got about 8%. Or you could hold it a little longer and go for that full 15%, but it's a little riskier. You want to always make sure you get out before everybody else starts getting out. You want to get in early, and you want to get out early. Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes you want to get in a little late. You don't want to get off the train too late is what I'm trying to say. Because once people start getting off, it's going to be already too late. And you're going to you're gonna lose your. It's gonna be coming down. So this is a good one to look out for. Like the pattern, it already had its earnings, so nothing to worry about coming up. It's got plenty of no worry spots, any earnings or anything. So the next one's gonna be CRMD. This is gonna be the last one for the prime time list, you could call it, for next week, and then we're just gonna get into some possible swing trades. A lot of them, which were from last week as well. So this one's, as you can see, it's a nice uptrending pattern. Hasn't breaking below this SMA line quite. I mean, it's not really ever. It's already pulled back. It's kind of rebounded, and now it's in a consolidation kind of phase for the pretty much the whole week. It was since Tuesday here. Tuesday, starting here. I mean, we've seen it's just been kind of flatlining. So we can wait until this starts to break out above its kind of previous pop here at about 195, and then wait for it to pull back, and then go ahead and get in. This is a kind of, I guess you could call it a penny stock. I mean, it's a $1.70, so it's going to be more riskier because it's going to be moving quite more than you might like. Possible about 35%. You never know, it could just tank off. I've had times where you think it's going to confirm, you take a position, and then it just tanks. So you always got to be mindful of not everything's going to go your way all the time. Now let's get into the ones for next week, or the reversals for next week. It's going to be CALX. Calcs, I guess you could call it. So it's had a previous pattern of this, of pulling back below the SMA, popping up, pulling back. So it's had a really bad sell-off from earnings, and it's starting to trend back up. So we could see it come back up to this SMA line, or it could go right through the SMA line. Never know. It's a good pattern, though. I mean, I guess you could call it a pattern. It's just it's an easier pattern to follow if you really wanted to trade. It's not all over the place. It's got a range that's nice. The next one's going to be IO. We looked at this one last week. It had a great week last week. From Tuesday here, it's pushed up, 8%, 9%, 10% since last week. So I would wait until this starts to pull back a little more, closer to the SMA, and then buy in once it starts trending back up again. This one has a great potential, but you got to be patient with these. Can't let emotions get in the way. You got to have a sound intellectual framework if you're gonna trade. You don't need to know finance. You don't need to know business. You just need to be able to control your emotions, take trades, and let them ride. Next one we're going to look at is QIWI. We looked at this one last week as well. It's still in reversal phase. It hasn't even started consolidating, so we're not even considering this one right now, but it is shaping up to be a nice one once we see that jump above the EMA, the blue line, and then the pullback, and then that's where we analyze it and get back in it. Next one's going to be BIOS, B-I-O-S. Another one that's in a consolidation phase. It's in that kind of better range to buy, but we're still waiting for the confirmation. And then another one is LOCO, L-O-K-O. We looked at this one last week as well. It did kind of start to confirm, but then it started showing signs of it's just kind of consolidating now, or even just buying has just ceased, and people just don't like it. You got to be wary of the SMA line. It could be acting as a resistance now instead of support, because it's dropped below and has not done that before. It's always stayed above the line, so you got to kind of watch it. This could start to trend down, not in your favor, but it's a good one to keep an eye on. And the last one we're going to look at is CROX, C-R-O-X. This one's still in the consolidation phase as well. Good possible percentage here of about 10%. You got to watch out for the earnings coming up, though, which is, what is this, 28th? 28th, which is it's a Thursday next week. So keep an eye out on that, and then maybe take a position afterwards if it doesn't tank on earnings and it stays relatively consistent. So that's all the stocks we're looking at this week. They're going to all be in the Discord app, I guess you want to call it. It's our team thing where we have all the stocks on there, so you can, if you didn't hear them you can always go back and check them again, check the tickers on there. So there's gonna be some giveaways we're giving away. We got like 4 T-shirts, Investments Group T-shirts that they're actually polos, black polos with the logo on there. We're gonna be giving away. The first person to you're gonna have to subscribe, comment, and then join our Discord group chat. Then I'll direct message you and then figure out the delivery, and I can ship those to you guys. So we got 4 of them. They're all large, so that's all I got is large. So if you don't fit it, then I mean you're gonna have to squeeze in, I guess, or whatever. So that's gonna be it for this week, guys. Let's make sure we have a great week next week. It's gonna be a full week next week, so we got Monday to Friday. Don't have to worry about anything. So we'll be back to normal. All right, we'll see you guys later. Take care.